Alrighty, welcome everybody. Grateful that you are listening and watching, and I'm very grateful for Frank Scarso, who we have here. This is going to be fun because, in true to fashion, the podcast is called "Nice to Meet You," and it really is nice to meet Frank. To get us
Likewise.
started, Frank, this is what usually kicks off the conversation, and then everything just kind of takes off from there. But if you were to reflect back on the past 12 months in your life and you were to turn that into a Netflix movie, what would your movie be about if you looked at this past 12 months?
So it's a very good question. Movie would be about someone who is, continuously growing his business, expanding a company, um, on a professional level, on a personal level. Um, Person that just turned 50 and is just found out that he's going to be a grandfather, so it's kind of exciting. But the movie would be an uplifting movie. I'm a very positive person. I believe in good karma. I believe in, you manifest your life.
Mm,
So it's a positive feeling that I would like to portray in that movie.
okay, so I'm assuming that because of the business and everything, you had to go through some ups and downs in order to recognize, oh, I definitely want to focus on the positive and help others. Tell me a little bit more about the business, and then
Sure.
yeah, how that started. Yeah, let's go from there.
So, ups and downs, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I used to be a Wall Street guy for 21 years. And unfortunately, I got caught up. I had an addiction to alcohol, and talk about ups and downs. I was actually at a certain point. I was actually living on the street. My wife separated from me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. I lost all my family, my friends, my job. It was a mess. But slowly but surely, by persistence and continuing to want to get back to where I was and back to my family, which was the most important thing. I didn't even care about the financial aspect of it, was my motivation for my sobriety.
Mm,
So here I am, I freshly, looking for something to do. And this kind of fell into my lap. I went to actually go work for somebody, started at the bottom, right? Literally started at the bottom, learned every step along the way. And then with some luck, right, we were able to start funding one deal at a time, one deal at a time. Next thing you know, you're funding two deals at a time, and so forth. You make a lot of mistakes along the way. You learn what works and what doesn't work. And still today, I'm always learning new things. Life is always a lesson to
yeah.
be learned. I try to learn something new every day. It's important. And your failures, it's important that you at least learn from them. At least don't make it a wasteful event if something goes the other way. So that's my ups and down stories. If you'd like to get into it more, I'm an open book. I don't mind talking about it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I know that with addiction comes some very deep reflection and some deep turmoil that you have to kind of go through. But then there's also that other swing where you experience the highs of being, focused and doing a lot of things just falling into place. So for your business right now, how long have you run it? And then, um, do you see the same resilience that you had in the past need to be activated for your business now?
So we've been operating now for almost 9 years. January will be 9 years that I started the company. And yes, in my industry, resilience is important because you're dealing with merchants, small businesses. Some of these small businesses unfortunately don't make it and they have to close their doors. And when you take a loss, it's important that you stay the course. It's part of the business. You deal with it. You stay resilient in the fact that you're going to continue to move forward, and that's how you get through these little bumps and these little hurdles that you have to hop.
Yeah. Do you when you counsel your clients, do you feel like you because you've experienced counseling yourself, do you feel like you're advising them from experience?
Yeah, I do, because again, dealing with the merchant, let's just say that's struggling to make their payments. I'm understanding that life happens.
Mhm.
I get it. Life happens. You can have a slow time due to a broken refrigerator, or, for a restaurant, or someone's got a couple of trucks that are down and so forth. So I try to counsel the people, and I try to, instill positivity into them and tell them that, listen, everything will be okay. We'll work it out. Don't worry about me. Worry about getting yourself back into, the groove. And, we'll get paid when the time comes. But for the most part, I try to be as understanding as possible.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, you can't always make everybody happy, right? But for the most part, I deal with pretty good people.
Yeah. How important is mindset in what you do?
Mindset's important, I think, in anything in life, no matter what you're doing, whether it's you're dealing with personal issues or whether you're dealing with work issues. You know, if you go into something thinking that you can't get it done, you might
Mm,
as well not even try because you're not going to get it done. You have to have that positive attitude that I can get this task accomplished, completed. I can do this. I can do that. If you're sitting there and say to yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's a long thing," you're gonna not, not going to succeed. Failure is just, inevitable. So it's important that you keep strong mindset. And like I said earlier, I'm a strong believer in manifestation. You manifest your own life. So I think if you stay positive and you think good thoughts and you
mm.
treat people nice and respectful, and you try to be as caring as possible towards people and show some empathy, the world, the universe repays you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard, especially when you're down in the dumps, right? When you're just like defeated, and it's the truth. That's the reality. Like everything just kind of hit rock bottom, hit the fan. Just nothing's going my way. How did you get out? How did you snap out of it? Like, was it a long period or was
Yeah,
it
it was took three
instantaneous?
years. So for 3 years, I was actually separated from my wife and kids, and when you hit rock bottom, unfortunately, you really, I hate to sound cliches, but you have to hit rock bottom and lose everything to realize what you lost. You have to just get to that breaking point. And it took me 3 years, several stints in rehab.
Mm,
Was arrested several times for DWI, and that takes a toll on you. But I knew from other experiences in life, being on Wall Street, because Wall Street has always been ups and downs, right? So I know that when things are bad, they're not going to stay bad forever as long as
mm,
you continue to try to move forward. And on the flip side, when things are really great, they don't stay great forever. So cherish those moments. It's important.
mm, expect the highs and expect the lows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely seems like you're a guy who would support people, who would understand what they're going through when they're going through, the down parts. Um, who was there? Were there different types of people that were there for you to kind of lift you out of your situation?
So really, for the most part, I was on my own. I just became this person that nobody wanted to be around. My own mother, she used to say, "You're not my son. I don't know what happened to my son."
Mm, wow.
And I had a couple of friends that stuck by my side that helped me out a little bit. But for the most part, you have to do it yourself. And then when your loved ones, your family, your friends see that you're really trying, that you're really making the effort, that's when they come in and they say, you know what, let's help you. We're here for you. We're here for you. Anything that you need. So until you show that you want to correct, this devastating event in your life, you're not going to get help from the outside because everybody's tired of it. You know how many times they've heard the stories, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then at the end of the day, it's just more of the same bull. So once the bull stops and, you do the complete opposite of what you were doing, right? You flip it
Mm,
180 degrees and start heading back the other way. The loved ones will come back into your life. It's just, time heals everything.
mm,
So they'll tend to not forget, but they'll tend to let it go.
yeah,
They'll just let it go. And
yeah.
that's what I've learned from my experience. Again, when you're dealing with addiction, unfortunately, addiction is a very strong disease, and
Yep.
everybody's recovery is different.
Yep.
So what works for me may not work for you or for Joe or for this one or that one. Everyone has a different type of recovery. But as long as you try, you can get help and you can succeed. If you don't try, it's not going to get better. It's just going to continue to get worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see the movie now. The uplifting part, with the friends and family kind of leaving and then being there to cheer you on after. Let's talk a little bit more about your business. Now, specifically for the audience, what do you actually do, and then who do you actually serve?
So we provide small businesses with capital. Businesses that either don't have credit or need money immediately or can't go to a bank. We provide capital to them fast within a couple of hours. So we service that niche market of the small business. Most banks nowadays really don't want to lend to small businesses. They're really looking to do corporate stuff, and that's why, when there's banking pressure, it makes our side of the business look better because we're a private lender and we're in the alternative lending space.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come in and we'll purchase receivables from a merchant. We'll pay for them up front, and then they pay us back over time. So, we're a lifeline to some of these businesses.
Yeah.
Without us, unfortunately, some of these places, are in big trouble. I don't know if you've ever tried to get a loan from a bank or a mortgage or whatever it is, but it's a lot of paperwork and it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of going back and forth. These people need money immediately, and that's where we come in. So we service that, emergency niche.
Mm-hmm. Are you specific to your location or nationwide?
No, no, we are nationwide. We do all 50 states. We operate in all 50 states.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, so it makes sense that you're in that space because you were in Wall Street, so you know all the money stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
it was like the flip side. When I was on Wall Street, we were asking people for money. Now on this side, we're giving people the money. So it
yeah,
kind of came into like second nature for me. This was kind of like a walk in the park.
yeah,
I'm just very lucky and I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to have a second chance.
mm,
Really, it's more like a 10th chance.
mm,
Really a second chance in life, and it's hard starting over.
yeah,
When you're 40 years old. I was very depressed. I didn't like my job. I had some. I suffered from depression and anxiety. I wasn't treated. I'm going to say 99% of addicts probably have some sort of underlying mental health issue that they're not
mm,
addressing. Um, so, it's important that you address those issues, and that's how you get going.
yeah.
You know.
A lot of people that start businesses would either find investors or find partners that the co-founder concept. Did you have someone that you partnered with to get started, and then you did your own thing, or did you just kind of naturally go into your own thing?
No, that's so. I was at a point where nobody really wanted to work with me, right?
Yeah.
I still had that stigma hanging over me, which I can't blame people, right? I let so many people down. But with that said, I did everything myself. My brother offered to help me in the beginning, and I said, no, this is something that I need to do on my own. I appreciate it, but you
Wow.
know, it took some time. It probably took me longer because I didn't have the help,
Hmm.
but it also taught me lessons. So, learning every aspect of this business was
Okay.
important. Learning from all of the failures, the mistakes that we made along the way. I did have a partner for a short period of time that I brought in, and he's no longer with me. So, I was the founder of the company, and I had a different vision for this company a couple of years ago. And we're going a completely separate route because we're getting bigger. We're growing. We have 4 offices now. We have 22 employees, and we're growing by leaps and bounds.
No
So,
way.
yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything specific that you can attribute the growth to?
Well, I think that's being honest. So, in our business, in the merchant cash advance business, unfortunately, there's a lot of thievery where brokers will send in files to a lender and that file goes out the back door. I don't do that. I don't. That's I pride myself on honesty. We work fair. We work hard. We pay your commissions on time. We don't try to get over on anybody for anything. I just like again that's just bad karma. And if you do bad things will
Yeah.
come into your life. I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your vision for the future of the business? Are you gonna stay within that niche, or kind of do a spin off and open some other things?
No, I'm probably going to stay here, and this will be my last stop. And my youngest one, she's a freshman in college. So I was hoping that maybe at some point, after she graduates and gets her feet wet, working for somebody else, would want to come in and take a portion of the business and run with it. So this way, there's someone to inherit it. You know, this is something that you can do for a very long period of time. I
Hmm.
mean, just like anything else, there's stress, but when you're dealing with margin calls on Wall Street and then you're dealing with stuff here, it's a completely different thing. So those 21 years that I had, trained me to deal with devastating issues, losing
Yeah.
people tons and tons of money. It gives you thick skin. You
Yes.
know, it leathers you up a little bit. So you can absorb more, you can take more of the hits. Um, but what came with all of that was a lot of depression. Right, I
Yeah.
didn't want to work there anymore. I was stuck. 40 years old. Um, and with the grace of God and hard work and determination, uh, persistence is important. Never give up. That's one thing I could tell people. Never give up. Uh,
Hmm.
you'll find a way, to make your way back if you just try.
Hmm.
If you just try, doors will open up for you.
Yeah. Now, for the people that aren't aware of how the business works, the cash advances, the merchant cash advances, can you share like a brief description of what that looks
Yeah,
like?
yeah. So we will come in, and it's a revenue-based model. We'll evaluate 3 months worth of bank statements, business bank statements.
Okay.
We'll average out to see how much they were doing in deposits, and then we'll base our offer on how much they have in receivables. It's not guaranteed. It's high risk what we do, but
Hmm.
it's also high reward for us. Um, but so the file comes in, we analyze it, we make an offer. If the merchant agrees to it, we go to the next couple of small steps, and within a couple of hours, the money's in their account. So
Wow.
Fridays are typically our busiest day of the week. Why? Because of payroll. You have a lot of businesses that are short money for payroll. They need that cash, or businesses that have a big project and they have to buy materials for up front. That's what we do. We help those businesses. Um, Unfortunately, some of these businesses are really not run well, and because it's a revenue-based model,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, we learned that the hard way, right? When a file goes bad on us, but files going bad, defaults are is part of the business. You're going to get the defaults. If you're not getting defaults, then you're not funding enough.
Yeah.
Um,
How do people find you? How do your customers find you, or do you find them? You approach them?
no, no. So that's a great question. We don't originate any files in house. Over the last 9 years, I built a network of brokerage firms that send us deals. So we don't originate any files in house. All the deals come into us via email. I probably have north of 100 firms that we work with and that we service.
Hmm.
So rather than building a book of business of merchants in house, I built a book of business of brokers or brokerage shops.
Yeah.
And it basically, instead of building my own army, I'm using the armies of
Yeah.
others
That
to
already
bring
have.
me business.
Yeah. But you still work with people that come directly to you, though.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everything that we do is brought in by a broker.
Yeah. How does a new business, so somebody comes up with an idea, they're like, oh, great. And they see online, yeah, you could go start an LLC here. Do you work with those types of people too?
We don't.
No.
If you're not at least established for 12 months, we don't work with startup companies because startups really don't have revenue, and we're a revenue
Ah,
based model, so it wouldn't be a fit for us.
that's right. That's good. That's good. Now, your employees, I know you mentioned team and family is important to you.
Yep.
So, community is big. What do you look for in team members? Like, what are the few traits that you're like, okay, this person would help us, or this person, no, stay away.
You want to see, you want to try to hire people that can merge in with your type of characteristics. If you're a very soft-spoken person, you don't want the loud people,
Mm,
that are, over the top. You want people that are kind, people that are understanding, people that are patient. Patience
mm,
is important. You have to understand you're dealing with people that are in an emergency situation for the most part, right? So you have to hold their hand a little bit. So you want to see good qualities like that in employees. Again, you're going to make mistakes with employees. Unfortunately, sometimes the wool gets pulled over our face.
mhm,
But for the most part, I've been very lucky. I have a young team.
mm,
Um, I'm the oldest one in the company. Most of the team is in their 30s, except for my wife. My wife is here. She's the president of operations. I brought her in.
mm,
Um, and we look for those that care about the business and that treat this place like it's their own.
mm,
My dad was uh, very important in my life. And when I started working, in a bagel store and pizzerias when I was younger, he told me, treat the place like it's your own. If you're
yeah,
not going to treat the place like it's your own, then don't do it. Don't be disrespectful towards your job. Be proud of what you do. There's nothing wrong with working. Just be
yeah,
proud of it. Treat it like it's your business and care for it. And that's something that's always stuck with me. And now I look for traits like that in
yeah,
people that I hire.
yeah. That's good. That's good to have an idea. And you do with any type of business, right? As long as they have revenue
Right.
online.
So we do have shifting guidelines, right? So
Okay.
like right now, trucking industry has a very high default ratio. So we're staying out of that. We just put real estate back on, but we have to be aware of, many different things. Like for instance, weather, right? If you have a certain area, let's say like Houston got bombarded with hurricanes, next thing you know, you're getting files that are close to the Houston area that need money that's not going to be able to collect. So you're
Mm,
not going to be able to help those folks.
hmm,
At the end of the day, I have to answer to my investors,
mm,
right? The
mm.
people that are my lenders that we use their capital to fund the merchants and purchase those receivables. So I have a fiduciary, and I have to do what's right for the lenders. I have to do what's right for us, and I have to do what's right for the merchants. So there's a lot of moving parts, but we're getting it. We're doing it. The growth has been tremendous. This year has been a blockbuster year so far.
Nice.
We're up already by 50% of what we did last year.
Ooh,
So
wow.
we're growing. We're growing.
Yeah. So you mentioned vendors that you're investors.
Yes.
Um, do you have to build that book of business too?
That's a book of business that we build.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's a book of business that we build. Up until about 2 years ago, when I changed and went different directions, most of everything that I did was through friends and family.
Mm,
But because of the way we work, and the brokerage shops are happy with us, they were sending in more files than we can handle. So I needed some help to get some money in here, and that's hence how I started to bring in employees and putting in pieces in place. And now with that capital that's coming in,
hmm.
that's helping us in the drive forward and the drive to the next level.
Yeah. Is there a
So
certain type of profile, like investor profile, that you look for, or if they have money and they're nice
no,
people?
it's all about, yeah, it's all about the revenue, right? But I like what you just said. If they're nice, sometimes because you do a funding call at the end, you do like an interview, right?
Yep.
If they're nasty and mean to you on the interview, and you're trying to give them money, it's a sign to cancel the deal.
Mm,
Unfortunately, you'd be surprised, and there's a lot of fraud in this industry.
yeah.
You'd be surprised how many fake statements we get from banks that get submitted. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So what makes you different than other competitors?
Our niche is we're the fastest in the business. A lot of most of the other places they'll hold deals for a couple of days and then pick and choose. We move quick. If we're going to fund something for you, we're going to fund it. If we make an offer and we go to contract, 99% of the time we're going to close that deal. Where
Mm,
it's 50-50 with most other places that the broker is going to be able to close that deal or not. So we pride ourselves in being the fastest in the business, which we probably are, and that's why the brokerage firms really like us.
mm,
Plus,
mm.
every Friday they're getting their commissions, sent to them via wire. They don't have to ask me. I send out an email Thursday night. We account everything. If there's any issues or any discrepancies, we go over it. Friday they get paid. The merchants, their clients, we send wires so they get their money right away, so they're happy.
Yeah,
It's about making people happy,
yeah,
servicing them. And that all comes from, my time being on Wall Street, because that was like a customer service,
yeah.
business, right? You have to service the investor and the clients. So I took that mentality here
Mhm.
into Avanza. So we service the brokers, we service the merchants, we service our lenders. So
Yep.
we try to make everybody happy.
Yeah. What's the payback period for your clients? Is it
About four
standard or is
months.
it vary?
It's
Okay.
about 4 months. It's about a 4 month term.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
it's not bad, but again, it's high risk. It's high rates, but it is very rewarding. It is very rewarding.
Yeah, and especially if it's an emergency and if it's an established business, they can prove that they've, generated enough, but they just need help, you know.
And you know what? Everybody needs a little help in life every once in a while.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. People have problems. People run into issues, right? And we are here to help when during those difficult times. If you need something fast, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
If you're a company, let's just say you're a restaurant and
Yep.
your freezer breaks, you're going to go to the bank. It's going to take them months to give you a loan, where we can come in a couple of hours, have that money in your account, so you can replace that equipment and continue to operate.
Yeah.
Um, the banks really are not for the small businesses anymore like they used to be. And
Yeah.
that's why the alternative lending industry is grown. It's a $1.2 trillion industry.
Oof.
BlackRock thinks it goes to a $10 trillion industry inside of the next 20 years, because there is always that gap that needs to be filled.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like you're really, really, really helping people when they really, really, really need it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's good. So if people wanted to find out more about how to be a client or even an investor, where do they go?
yeah. You can go to www.avanza. It's AVANZA for New York City,
Okay. Are you
and
guys
that's our.
online? Social
Yeah, yeah.
media?
We're online. We're online. We have a portal set up for our clients, for our lenders, and we have an app set up for our lenders as well. Um, so we try to make it a very seamless, process. We're also part of the expansion. We are now IRA approved. We
Whoa.
we have a third party custodian, so anything that we do for our lenders can be done in an IRA or retirement account.
Wow. That's good. That opens up a
Yeah,
whole nother market.
whole nother market, whole
Yeah.
nother market. One of the best moves that we did.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that probably 25% of our lenders make the investment through their retirement account.
Nice. Oh man. Talk about expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So
Good
we've
deal.
been busy.
Yeah,
we've
I
been
bet.
busy.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to give one last encouragement to business owners who are like struggling, but not really, so they're like just in the middle, what would you encourage them to break out of that middle?
Well, first and foremost, don't borrow money if you're not going to use it right away. Because we are a high rate. If it's you're going to borrow the money just to have it in the account, I would tell you not to do that. Just use
Smart.
what you need when you need it. We're there within a couple of hours, right? A couple or days. Some of the other lenders are a day or two. So don't take it unless you 100% need it, because it is very high risk. It
Yeah.
is very high risk. And to these merchants, really just watch your bottom line. count every penny, make every
Mm.
penny count. Sometimes you have to treat nickels like manhole covers, and make sure that they're heavy so that they don't go jumping out the door.
Yeah.
Um, as a small business, it's important that you maximize every penny.
Nice. Amen. Well, great, man. It's been a great conversation. I appreciate you.
Likewise. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
appreciate
you.
you
And
too.
everybody make sure to go to Avanza, right? Avanza
Avanza.nyc.
NYC. Avanza.nyc. All right. Congratulations on all the
Thank
success
you.
and the
Thank you.
growth. This is exciting.
Thank you. I
I'll
hope
be
you do
watching.
well with your podcast. I hope you get to meet all the people you're looking to find.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.